more of a matriarchal society. So it's what's really needed, because this left brain patriarchal program, where they're just, there's no connection to spirit or heart or anything else, is just run amok, and it has to shift out of that old program before we take the total downward spiral into social, economic, and environmental collapse.
Well, I think we're already in that spiral, going pretty fast.
Yeah, we are. But
Everywhere,
it's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing. I do, because there's two worlds forming right now, and one world is where people live in harmony with each other and the environment, and they're coming together, and there's a whole new way of life coming together. And then there's the old world, which is separation game, and competition and greed, and that whole program, I think, is on the downward spiral and going out. But a lot of us are in between worlds right now and not knowing how to make this transition or this shift.
That's exactly right. We're all lost. We've been just kind of, it reminds me of when I was in the big earthquake in Los Angeles. I was thrown about 10 feet in the air over my driveway, and as I was coming down, the magnetic fields had completely shifted, and I didn't know up from down. I didn't know left from right, because the gravity was off. And I remember falling, and I didn't know where I was falling. I didn't know where down was. And it was the oddest sensation. And that's what I feel like psychologically now. I don't know where I'm falling. It's like everything has shifted, and where you used to step, you can't step any longer. It's not there. Things are just disappearing, and I just have to live it one moment at a time, and not have any arrogance that I have any control other than just trying to be my highest self possible. But yeah, everybody I know is in the same situation. We're all just sitting here going, what's happening? What do we do? And it's a difficult one to figure out, but we can all feel the power of the shift. That's for sure.
I'm getting real strong information about that this spring on into summer, that it's not going to be business as usual on any level. And, I've got people wanting me to speak at conferences and go here and go there, and they're like 3 years out, 2 years out. And I just told them, I said, I can't commit. I can't commit to anything, that far out. You can put me on the docket, but if you want, but I'm just not sure things are going to be business as usual, and to plan something like that far out, I said I really, can't do it right now, and I'm seeing over and over again is that, like you're saying, is that things are changing so fast that you have to just stay in the moment and go with the flow, and your daily planner just may not work. It's beyond a week or
right.
So
I'm almost afraid to try to. Well, one of my favorite sayings is, how to make God laugh, make plans. But it's very, very serious now. I'm afraid to make any kind of plan whatsoever. Like you, from I don't know where I'm going to be next month, what I'm going to be doing. And I've always been, a type A personality and goal-driven and had knew where I was going and prepared for everything. And now I find myself completely unprepared for anything, not knowing what direction, except for my spiritual path, I'm going. I bought land in Snowflake, Arizona, coincidentally, again, 15 years ago. And 6 of my best friends, we all bought adjoining 40-acre parcels, and that land is checkerboarded with BML land, Bureau of Land Management. So it's actually a lot of land. And we put a fence around it, and we were the first ones we got to name our roads because, it was virgin land and they were just dirt roads. And so every road has a name like, Pleiadian Way, Orion Street, Zeta, Zeta Reticuli Road, on and
Right.
on and on. So all the aliens are represented. But so
That's fun.
I keep hearing that they say if this shift occurs, that you want to be in the high deserts,
Oh yeah.
and that's where this land is. It's in the high deserts, and that's where Travis Walton was taken from, and there was no connection, to my buying the land there. It just so happened that's how God worked it out, that we all
Mhm.
bought this land, and it's really a vortex. The night that I bought it, I had 3 sightings, and I tried to sleep on that land one night, but it's just there's so much activity in that around there that I couldn't sleep at all. But that's about the only thing that I look at for the future. I've had bought, and sold real estate in about every state, I think, and I was always into that. I'm going to buy a place here and stay here. Well, now I have no real estate, and I have no. It's okay, God. Where do you want me next? And all I can do is just what I've really done, for most of my life, is try to express the importance of, the knowledge of our place in the universe, and share about the ETs. And as long as we're doing our work, our calling, I guess that's about all we can really do.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a good project. I did that. Oh God, I think 25 years ago. I was totally guided to this mountain, at the base of this mountain, and to build this spiritual retreat center. And I had no idea that UFOs were going to be involved in it. And about halfway through into this thing, we're doing a lot of process-oriented therapy and teaching deep meditation techniques, and having, lamas and yogis and all kinds of masters come up there, and scientists as well, and doing lectures and things like that. But, about halfway into it, the next thing you know, I started being contacted by beings that I've actually been with all my life. They were Pleiadians.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing how I had to first I had to blend East and West together, and then the next thing I had to blend Native American teachings and culture into my belief system, and then it just kept unfolding. The next thing you know, I've got Pleiadians talking to me, and coming from an extremely high level. So it's been quite a journey, and now it's like the UFO highway there. We just sit out at night. We pull lawn chairs out and watch them fly, and thousands of people have come out to see the ships, and it's just an ongoing thing. And we still have the debunkers, trying to debunk everything. But I go, well, you stop with the armchair investigation, get off your butt, and come out and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And very seldom do they. A lot of people just want to debunk, no matter what. I mean, that's their program. But the ones that do come out have life-changing experiences.
That's great. That was our thinking when we purchased the land, that it would be a communal place to be and share the information, and perhaps a safe place for some of the hybrid children to visit. And obviously, if you have 3 sightings in one evening, the place is, I can imagine. It was really cute because the guy who sold me the land, I bought it with a girlfriend, and she said, I want to see it at night. We have to see it at night. And it was in the winter, and it was very cold. It was wet and snow on the ground. But he said, okay, I'll bring you out here. In the middle of nowhere, we couldn't have found the place by ourselves. So he said, I'll take you out there. So we went in a Jeep, and unfortunately, the Jeep broke down, or fortunately. Maybe, and so he called his son, and his son couldn't get there for a couple hours. So we're sitting in this Jeep, and when the first craft came up, we know that, you and I know, people in the know that you can be in a group of people, and some people will see the craft and some people won't. So I grabbed my girlfriend's hand when the first craft came over, and I said, are you seeing what I'm seeing? She said, yeah. And I turned around to this sweet little conservative-looking man, and I said, I'm sorry, sir. I said, have you ever seen anything like this before? And he was almost apologetically saying, yeah. I said, really? How many times? Oh, about a dozen. I said, oh, fascinating. Half an hour goes by, another craft comes over, different type of craft. I said, grab my girlfriend's hand. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Yes. I said, Doug, I said, have you seen this before? He said, yeah. How many times? Oh, about a dozen. Third craft comes over. I looked at him. I said, about a dozen? He said, yes. So, people are drawn there. He was actually, grew up in Southern California, and he went there and bought 40 acres and was living off the grid. A lot of communities up there like that.
Right.
So I'm getting excited just talking about it, wanting to go there. But I had a Pleiadian experience the first night that I stayed in the hotel room in Snowflake. I'd seen the land, and we went back to the hotel, and my girlfriend and I woke up. We're both in the same room on double beds, and there were 7 Pleiadians. Funny, 7 Pleiadians standing around the bed. And so I said, well, this must be a good sign. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're unfortunately we're running out of time. So before we sign off, I want to make sure and give the information on how people can contact you or get a hold of your book, and just go ahead and give them your website as well.
Sure. The name of the book is The Art of Close Encounters, and it's 150 individual accounts of contact. It covers every kind of contact I could possibly find. Well, in the back I have a chapter that includes even angels and Bigfoot and all kinds of wonderful things. So primarily ET contact, but it does cover other things. So it's a fine art coffee table book. It's a steal. I self-published, and it can only be found at my website. And to make it easy for people, the name of the book is The Art of Close Encounters, and my website is theartofcloseencounters.com. And if you would just go there and look at the buyer's comments, people are just falling in love with this book, and I'm so happy. It's only been out, like I said, a couple months, and only maybe 100 or a few hundred books are in the general public at this time, but hopefully word of mouth will get around and people can enjoy it.
Great. Yeah, well, I hope that takes off, and we'll do all we can to get that information out as well.
Well, thank you very much, James. Went way too fast.
Yeah, we need a 2-hour show. We'll try to get you back on again. We can go deeper into the story.
Okay. You take care. Thank you.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're out of time, folks, so got to sign off. This is James Gunn with As You Wish Talk Radio, broadcasting from Mexico. Have a great evening. Good night.